to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay, though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat because it doesn't curve, the water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay, though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right. Oops. Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again for Anti-Religious Scripture Study with Karen B. and Just Jack. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right.
Sorry,
All right.
Flapping my gums there for a minute.
It's all good. Oh, Frank Logic's in that chat. Frank, go over to Karen B's channel instead of Unveiling This Realm.
You can watch wherever you want to watch at, but the majority of the chatters will probably be in the main channel.
Totally. Alrighty. So, how are you, Karen?
I'm fantastic.
That's good. Yeah, I got together with James and Najla from Grounded Extracts yesterday, and that
Awesome.
was very cool to like get around some flat earthers. It's been a rough couple of weeks for both of our families with symptoms, and I think we picked up symptoms from Greenville 5G.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to like be back to, being able to breathe a little clearer and get back into the groove of the anti-religious scripture studies. And I've been getting a lot of good comments about the anti-religious scripture studies, and a lot of times I ask people, did you watch the first episode? And most of them do not. Most of them have not.
Yeah.
And for anybody who suggests this channel to anybody, they can tune in live and get involved with it, but everybody should watch the first episode to figure out what it is that we're actually doing here, because we're breaking down a paradigm, a man-made structure of translation that actually causes you to miss a lot of important information into the scriptures. And I try to break it down in a way that everybody can do this for themselves so that they don't even have to trust me in translating. I think it's important for everybody to search the scriptures out for themselves and search it out. There's a verse in the scripture that says, search it out with fear and trembling. In other words, like, I don't want to be wrong because somebody misled me, So it's really good for people to do their own research about every subject, including this one. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with, is they don't feel that they have the mental capacity, or they don't believe that they have the religious right, or they believe that they don't have their own self-authority to look into these things. And, I've been looking into Torah for 10 years now, and this is after I almost became a pastor. And what I came to understand is that the pastors just perpetuate the thing that keeps the church in business. It's not really about studying the scriptures to find yourself approved, which is what the scriptures say you should do, even in the New Testament. So the other thing is for people who believe in the New Testament that think the Old Testament's done away with and they shouldn't look at it, these people that call themselves Christians is supposed to mean Christ-like. But the man who they call Christ studied only one scriptures, and that was the Old Testament. He did not study Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He didn't study the books that were written about him later. He studied only one book. So I challenge everyone to take their own responsibility for what the scriptures say. All right, so with that, I'll say my disclaimer. Just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scriptures shouldn't be studied at all, then this stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words, as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. All right, there we go. And so last week, chapter 25 is 40 verses. That's one of the longer chapters, so I broke it up into two. The first half, we were talking about the Ark of the Covenant, which is literally just the container for the contract. So if you see, go back up there a little bit, right there, slow down, back down a little bit, right there, verse 16. So in the ark you shall put the witness. Okay, this is not some guy in a courthouse that they're shoving into a box, right? A witness is something that tells you about something that's happened, and later on, the twin tablets are called the witness of the covenant, the witness of the contract, or the testimony. So this witness and testimony is the twin tablets, which have the 10 words on them. By the way, at this verse, at chapter 25, the tablets are still not given to Moshe yet. So we're not even talking about what the witnesses is. We're just talking about that this box is going to be where the witness is put. So the other thing is I said that they make these open rings that they put the staves through, and they're so that you can pull the staves out. But then it says, do not remove the staves from the table, which is, it's probably up a little bit. Well, maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, it's up 14, I think. 15. The poles are in the rings of the ark, and they are not taken from it. But I said that they do pull them out. And it's like, why are you saying something contradictory to what the scripture says, Jack? Well, they don't pull them out completely, but they do pull them out. So if you don't mind, Karen, going over to 1 Kings where it says 1KI, it's like up there by 11. Yeah. And then chapter 8. And then go to verse 6 and read through verse 8.
All right. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Jehovah to its place into the speaking place of the house, to the most set apart place under the wings of the cherubim.
Okay, so the most set apart place, this is what people may refer to in King James Version as the Holy of Holies. Okay, the most set apart place.
For the cherubim spread 2 wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubim covered over the ark and its poles.
Okay.
And the poles extend so that the ends of the poles were seen from the set-apart place in front of the speaking place, but they were not seen from outside, and they are there to this day.
So what this is talking about is, well, how is it seen and not seen, right? So this is what I was talking about. The Ark of the Covenant and the Holy of Holies place was surrounded by a curtain. So like you have the holy place where you get like as cleaned up as possible. And then once a year you go into the Holy of Holies, which is where the Creator, focuses his presence into that one area. And it's surrounded by a curtain. So what they would do is they would pull the staves out that poke the curtain out. So you can see that the staves are there, but you can't see the staves. So they're seen and not seen, you see. So you see the poles that are there, so you know the Holy of Holies is there, but you didn't actually see them. So this is what I was talking about, where they would pull them out, so that you could recognize that they were still in that curtain place.
Okay.
Is that a little more clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Because last time you were talking about it'd be easier if we had visualizations.
Yeah, and we looked up some pictures too, so that helped.
Yeah. So when they were, if you can't go into the Holy of Holies except for once a year, how do you know it hasn't been stolen that night, or whatever? And the curtain poking out with the staves is the way that they would tell that it's there. It's a confirmation that it's there. Okay, so now we're at 25, 23. And okay, so table for bread. So there's this whole setup that is being described, or I don't even think it's just described to Moshe. I think he's actually getting a visual picture, because the Creator says, this is how I want you to, build the place where you're going to prepare the place for like this. I believe it's a frequency exchange, where the Creator can appear in this place. And one of these things is the table of bread, and it's called the show bread in King James Version. But there's a lot about, when we hear today about communion, we think it's about this, Catholic disc wafer and, this special wine or whatever, but that's not what communion is. Communion is sharing a meal with the Creator. So this showbread thing, this, every day they had fresh bread to eat before the holy place. So
Okay. All right. And you shall make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, a cubit wide, and a cubit and a half high.
and this is acacia is it's assumed it's acacia wood because it's a word that means to scourge or whip, and it's like a thorny bush that's out in the area, and a cubit means of the arm. So
And you shall overlay it with clean gold, and shall make a molding of gold all around.
and again, we talked about this, and I think it makes perfect sense that gold is a very good electric conductor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's something to that. And then they're specifically placed in such a way that if you connect the dots, it looks like the golden ratio again,
Mm-hmm.
in the 3 dimensions, it's like 2 long, 1 wide, 1.5 tall.
Yeah.
There's there's very specifics about the 3-dimensional angle size of it. So
Yeah. And shall make for it a rim of a handbreadth all around, and shall make a gold molding for the rim all around.
So a handbreadth would be, your finger width.
Mm-hmm.
So outside the 4 knuckles.
And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings on the 4 corners that are at its 4 legs.
Yep.
The rings are close to the rim as holders for the poles to lift the table.
Yeah, it's funny. It's houses for the separated. So the separated is the staves. So it's funny. It's like holders is actually houses. It's like that's where they live.
Mm-hmm. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be lifted with them.
All right, so we have specific dimensions for this table, and then why do you need staves to carry a table? Well, if it's overlaid with gold, it's pretty stinking heavy.
Yeah.
So you get the distributed weight of 4 fulcrum points basically, and that makes it a lot easier to carry. So 1 person couldn't carry it, 2 people couldn't carry it, so they made staves that it's carried by 4 people.
And you shall make its dishes, and its ladles, and its jars, and its bowls for pouring, make them of clean gold.
So why would you need to pour for bread? Obviously, there's more on this table than just bread. So it's
Right.
It's food and drink.
And you shall put the showbread on the table before me continually.
So the showbread is it's just bread. It's not. I don't know why they call it showbread. I really don't. Like
It's just bread.
it's just bread. Like, and give
That's funny
of
to me.
on the table.
And here
lechem,
it says
bread.
shoe bread.
Yeah.
What
well,
is
that's
that?
Old English, right? Old English showbread.
Lechem.
Lechem. Yeah.
Bread,
Lechem.
food, grain, bread corn, food in general.
Yeah, and the next word is going to be faces. The bread face.
The bread face.
Yeah.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, faces.
Yeah.
Present, person.
Yeah, so it's just the presented bread.
In front of.
it's the one that you face to the table.
The bread in your face.
The bread in the face of the table.
Okay.
Here, face bread. Have some face bread. But yeah, show bread. Like, look, you can see bread. We're showing it. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Weird translations.
Yeah.
But but it says continually, right? That means it's a constant refreshing of bread, everyday thing.
Okay.
So,
And you shall make a lampstand of clean gold. The lampstand is made of beaten work. Its base and its shaft, its cups, its ornamental knobs and blossoms are from it.
okay, so the word, I don't know how important this is. It's kind of funny to me. It's humorous.
Mm-hmm.
This word shaft is the word for the loin area, the tender loin area,
Mm-hmm.
like a male shaft.
Okay.
So that's how it's described, which is interesting. The long and hard part of it. So, lamp, and in this case is another word for light. It's actually from light, but it's not the light of or, which we've read in the past, like Genesis 1, let there be light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let light exist.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not or, this is nar. And nar means the seed's head. In other words, the beginning of continuation is light. So and this is the source of the beginning of the continuation. This is it's representative of eternal light, not just light, but eternal light. Like this light is never supposed to go out, is what I'm trying to say here.
Okay. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. Okay, so I'm noticing in your translation it says menorah. So that sounds
That's
like they're
correct.
describing the menorah.
That's correct. So lampstand is menorah, right?
Okay.
So if you go back to that previous verse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look for lamp up there, up top,
Mm-hmm.
it's menorah.
Or here.
Menorah. And that's menorah. So it's the lamping or the lighting, the eternal lighting. Yeah. So menorah is the eternal lighting.
Okay.
That's what it literally means, because it's the head of continuation. That's the light part of it. And then it's from, because the source of it is, and then the ing on the end. So it's the continuing eternal light source. That's what menorah is. Yep. You had to look up shaft, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So yeah, menorah it's a representative of eternal light.
And so in the King James Version, they just call it candlestick.
Yep. Lampstand, candlestick, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, so but people have heard of menorah because, thank you, baby. My wife gave me water. 1 second. So people have heard of menorah because, the temple was robbed at some point and they called it the menorah at that point. But the ones, this is actually something that I can bring up because, it's kind of based on it. The ones that they put up for Hanukkah,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Jews, they put up the candle stand for Hanukkah, and it has 9 branches. Okay, so it has the shaft, and then it has 4 offshoots on either side. That's actually not a menorah. That's actually called a Hanukkah. So it's different. The actual menorah has 6 branches on either side of the shaft. The 7 branch stand is called the menorah. So, and that's specific because, there's 1s and 10s and 7s that, the creator keeps using for representative of things of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those things that, yeah, the thing that you see for Hanukkah is not a menorah. So, for those who want to know. And also it's not specifically talking out the branches. It says the word branches, but it's actually the nesting. They get nested in. So it's branches that connect together, so it's nested. But I put branch there just because that's what it's translated from. So, but it's
okay.
actually rooted in the word nest.
Okay. Where am I at? 33. 3 cups made like almond.
How dare you?
3 cups.
32.
32?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
read that
You
one.
didn't actually read that part yet.
And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. I feel like I did read that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
That's because I described it so much.
3 cups made like almond flowers on one branch with ornamental knob and blossom, and 3 cups made like almond flowers on the other branch with ornamental knob and blossom.
Ornamental knob.
So for
this happens to me all the time. Like as you're reading, I'm like, where are they getting this from? Go ahead and read it, and then we'll break down these words here.
Okay. So for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand.
Yeah, 6 branches. Okay. So knob is correct. Ornamental, what's the point? There's no let's see, ornamental knob. Nope, I don't even have knob in this part. This part is talking about there it is.
Knob here.
You're right. There it is. There's the knob. But okay, so blossom is the bud, not blossom, the budding, the bursting out of the bud. So yeah. Ornamental I don't see there at all. And almond is eye shape. Not necessarily almond. But almond is used in the same word to describe almonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this word, masheched, is the word that they use for almond, but it could actually be the eye shape. It just simply the eye shape. But since it says, see there, it says almond flowers. No word for flower there. No, see, that flower is there, but see where it says almonds, it doesn't say almond flower. And that was the scriptures version of it. I don't know why they put almond flower. Make like almond, would make
blossoms.
Sense. Yeah. See that says blossoms. Weird. Yeah, the KJV doesn't even have blossom or flower there, but it's eye shaped, right? So you could even say like, petal shaped. The shape of the eye, not the circular eyeball part, but the actual eye socket shape, the elongated oval.
Yeah, so it's like that shape, that eye shape. An almond is like an eye shape.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the comparison there. So, yeah, I mean, the root of the word is watching, shaping your eyes to be watchful, so it's, yeah. Yeah, it's weird how they throw in extra fluffy words to describe stuff, like almond flowers. Okay, I don't see it, but in the branch and burst out 3 of the bowls, which is the high-sided dome shapes, the almond in branch, the 1 knob, and the burst out affirmed. So it is so. 6 nestings, purpose out for the menorah. Yep. All right.
And on the lampstand itself are 4 cups made like almond flowers with ornamental knob and blossom.
So there's 4 tiers of each lampstand of the different the bowls and the eye shapes and the knobs. So there's 4 tiers on each branch.
Okay.
And again, this is menorah. I don't know why the scriptures version wouldn't use menorah, because it's a specific lampstand. It's not just lampstand, But after this, we'll look up. I'll see if I can find one as you're reading, but I can show you they're doing a restoration. I think it's an illegal restoration of the temple. But they've already remade the menorah.
And a knob under the first two branches of the same, and a knob under the second two branches of the same, and a knob under the third two branches of the same, according to the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand.
Yes.
Their knobs and their branches are of the same, all of it one beaten work of clean gold.
Now that is something. You're talking about these giant branches that are made out of singular pieces of gold, solid gold.
Yeah, it's a lot of
That
gold.
weighs a lot.
And you shall make 7 lamps for it, and they shall mount its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its snuffers and their trays are of clean gold.
Yeah, the snuffers are the breakers, so they break the fire. So when they move, if they're moving the tabernacle, they have to put it out then.
Right.
So.
Right. It is made of a talent of clean gold with all these utensils.
And a talent is a disc, a round piece of gold. It's a specific measurement.
Okay.
It's not actually called a talent, though. That's just a word that was made up in Old English. It's just a round.
Okay, round. Okay, yeah.
Kakar.
So see and do according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he actually got a full picture before he even went down and described how it was supposed to be done. He already saw it. So I posted a picture of the rebuilt menorah in the Skype chat. I don't know if you can share that with the people at home. But this is the one that they are using in the third temple, they're calling it, which it wouldn't be the third temple anyways. It would be like the fourth or fifth because it got torn down and rebuilt a couple times. But this menorah, I think, after reading the description myself, I think that they did a bad job because each branch should have 4 repetitious parts to each branch, and they kind of like shoved everything at the top of the branch to I don't think that's accurate.
Were they all the same height?
No, okay, you see how coming out from the middle piece, right? How they're smooth gold, no bumps, right? And then at the top there's a bunch of decoration stuff, right? But the way I see it is each branch should be broken up into 4 parts with the knobs, the bowls, the almond shape, portions. So, they have their own perspectives, their own agendas. But if you look at the tops of the ones that they're designing, you see the 3 bowls at the very bottom part of it.
Yes.
And then the eye-shaped engraving around the sides of the bowl. See those almond-shaped engravings around each bowl? So when I read the description of the menorah, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't look right to me at all. Yeah. But they have their own agenda. They have their own, and this was created by the Temple Institute. The Temple Institute are the ones who are trying to recreate all the parts of the rebuilding of the temple. This is the one that some people are concerned that it might be fulfilling end of the world prophecy for building that temple. So it can become problematic for people's perspective. But I think what they're doing is illegal as far as the scriptures are concerned. So
why is that now?
Because it's only supposed to be done by a certain family, and it's only supposed to have that certain family doing the service of the temple, and that family it's the how can I explain this? The restoration of all things, the temple will be rebuilt. I don't think with our technology. Let's put it that way. It'll be built in a different way, and it'll be a true resonance location of the Creator. So it gets complicated, because I'm throwing my own theories in there based on what I've studied with Scripture.
Right.
And basically, the whole thing is in the Revelation. Let's say, okay, it says that the Ark of the Covenant is going to come out, but they call it the throne of God. Right? Which kind of makes sense, right? That's where he's going to appear. So allegedly they're going to pull out the Ark of the Covenant, place it in this new temple, and then the anti-Messiah is going to sit on the throne of God, declaring that he is God, and then those who will be deceived, even the very elect, and there's all that mess that's going to happen. Allegedly. I mean, that's just, how Revelation describes it. So some people have thought that has already happened, but the Ark of the Covenant has not revealed itself in a long time. So, there's people who believe that the whole Bible's already been done away with. They're called the preterists. Like, they think that everything's been accomplished. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons I don't think it has happened, including Damascus becoming a uninhabitable, ruinous heap. And Damascus is still a bustling city today. So, all right. So also, verse 40, according to which was shown to you. So I think that he got a vision of the throne room in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these articles, this banquet table before the Creator, this throne of the Creator, this eternal lampstand before the Creator, and this is described in Isaiah, this is described in Revelation, it's described in Daniel. Like, everybody has these visions of heaven where they see the same articles that are mirrored in the tabernacle. So the whole idea was to show people the dwelling place of the Creator, which, my assumption is above the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something to these articles that cause a super resonance, in its location. So
Yeah, cool.
But next we're going to be getting into the actual building, the tabernacle, and this is where I'm going to try to do some studying on that man's website. And forgive me for not remembering his name. I think it's Andrew, right? Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew Hoy.
Hoy, yeah.
Was it Project 314?
Yeah, I had his card here, and
Yeah, it's project314.org.
yeah. Yeah, so if you're wondering what I'm going to be using for the next couple of chapters, I'm going to be digging in to his website, and I have a study book that he printed, and I'm going to go through it, and I think he's done the same thing as me on this specific subject, where he thinks that they've translated some things wrong, and he's done some research on what words he thinks have been translated wrong. So that's right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. So that's coming. Tabernacle's coming. And a lot of the commands about cleanness, I'm sure people are familiar with that term, like, what's clean and unclean.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that has to do with you don't approach the tabernacle unless you're clean. And I think cleanliness that they speak of is not a physical cleanliness, it's a metaphysical cleanliness. In other words, it's body and spirit, like, in sync with the Creator, so you can approach him and get the most out of the connection. I think that this is true of food. I think this is true of environmental. I mean, yeah, for me, it's very clear, when you get into this cleanliness thing, because, like, for instance, most people know if you eat certain foods, it's going to change your physiology.
Mm-hmm.
and it can change your whole demeanor. It can change your whole attitude, you know, by certain foods. So it's gonna be interesting going in. So everybody should check out project314.org, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody check that out and give them a shout out and say that, you know, Just Jack and Karen B sent you.
Word.
So, all right, y'all have a blessed Shabbat.
Yes. All right. Thank you for joining us once again for another anti-religious scripture study, and we shall see you next Saturday. It's 12:12.
And it's still flat.
And it's still flat. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.